Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third take of the third episode of the Adderall Not Included podcast. I am co-hosting here with my lovely boyfriend Romeo.
Hi.
We're we're just
We're feeling silly with it today.
yeah
Um,
we got on a call and I grabbed some food like before we were gonna eat before we were gonna sat down like to record because I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get something in my stomach because I haven't eaten all day. Uh and so we talked a little bit while I was eating, like before the podcast, and I was trying not to like go on rants because I knew that it would wear my brain out. Before, like right before we were recording the podcast, so
and also because if we start going on rants, we don't stop going on rants.
yeah,
Like,
this
case in point, the whole podcast.
case in point, the entirety of last episode. Oh my god. Uh, do you guys
Jesus
understand now
Christ.
why we call it the Adderall Not Included podcast? It's because once again, say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, my medicine wore off, and Romeo doesn't have any. So I need to get something off my chest, man.
So your
Not
tits?
not
No, wait.
what?
Sorry, I'm so
I need to get
used to
I
that.
Romeo, I need to get those on my chest.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Gotta
so used
yeah,
to.
interesting. But I not even like something I need to get off my chest. I need to talk about something. So I have been watching. Sometimes I hang out with my little sister downstairs, or either like just my little sister if I'm like watching her or babysitting, or if I'm just like down there hanging out with her and my stepdad. And a lot of they've started binging Dance Moms. So
Dance mom.
I've been watching a lot of Dance Moms recently, and my one takeaway from that show is holy shit. I honestly understand why JoJo Siwa is the way she is today, because that
Yeah.
would have fucked me up as well. Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
That is so every single episode on there is like it's
It's
insane.
just so nightmarish. It's
I don't
like, what the
understand.
heck?
I don't understand cuz all of the kids they're like really chill. They're just trying to do their best. Like every single child on there doesn't like other than like a couple instances in a few episodes I've seen, they've gotten like jealous of certain things, but at the same time, that's because the moms like pit them up against each other like my child's better than yours or your child is better than mine. I'm surprised that there aren't stories of like most of the other kids becoming famous and then like going like falling off as hard as
Insane.
JoJo did. Like holy shit, dude.
Yeah, no, like it's kind of brutal to watch. It's like, Jesus Christ, that is a child.
That is a child. That's like traumatizing, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I
like the same can be said about like most reality TV shows, including kids, and fucking beauty pageants.
it is really
My
insane.
God.
Beauty pageant, man, that whole entire thing is just so screwed up. You're okay. I understand it as like if you're just looking for a way to show off, like, oh uh, look at this show that we can put on together and yada yada, because they always do like the group shows or they do the solos or they do the bets and like
Yeah,
it's insane though because a lot of the time on that show specifically, it's like all of the shows they do together, but all of the moms like pit their kids against each other and like start drama.
yeah.
And the one lady, like the owner of the dance class, she's like, "Oh, you have to do better, or I'm not gonna give you any solos or yada yada." And I'm like, "Well, if you don't give them any, they're not gonna learn. Because there was this one
Yeah,
girl, which I don't. Okay, there was this one girl, right? Um, and the lady who owned the studio, she was really on her ass because they had a dance competition, and she was like, "If you don't place in the top 5, that or no," she said, "If you don't win, then I'm not gonna give you any solos anymore." And this girl, like, I don't want to claim racism, but she was the only kid there who wasn't white, and the lady, um, had like a history of just not liking her in general. So it was like a, it's just fucked, man. It's all messed up. Like, I don't understand how you can see your kid going through that stress and like that amount of just shit in
just
general and not
heartbreak.
be like, okay, maybe there's something wrong here. And they're paying for it as well. They pay like a lot of money to that lady to send their kids to her and watch them get tortured. Like,
Yeah,
it's fucked.
and it's fucked. It's fucked.
Oh, man. It's insane. This is, honestly, this is why I don't, I didn't, I would never want to go out to social events like that. Um,
Yeah.
which, you know, thinking about it, that's probably just because I was homeschooled growing up. Which brings me to a perfect segue into today's topic.
Oh my god, your audio just ate you. Sorry.
Okay,
Um.
well, OBS was reading me that whole time, so I'm gonna assume that was a you problem.
Oh no.
I segued into our topic for today. It was the coolest segue we've ever had, and I was really proud of it, but you didn't hear it, so it's fine, I guess. I'm kidding. I love you. Um, Romeo?
Cici
Oh, oh no. Can you hear me?
is still eating you. This is
Oh
terrible.
my god,
Oh, my
Romeo.
Wi-Fi.
Romeo, no. Why does this only happen when we're recording?
Hello?
Hello?
Welcome back from the void. Um,
You were in the void.
we were both in the void for a bit
No.
there.
My OBS was recording me just fine. You were in
Oh,
the
then it
void.
must have been my Wi-Fi. Whoops.
Yes, it was your Wi-Fi. Welcome back. To the land of void and
Hi,
Romeo.
happy to be back. It's so
Whoa.
good to be back. Um,
Take 4.
catch
No,
me up
just
on
kidding.
the last.
So
Catch me up on the last minute.
I segued us into today's topic. It was a segue that I was really proud of, and you didn't hear that. So I guilt tripped you for it, but you also didn't hear that. Um, so, so
See, I could
basically
see
we're
where
just
you
gonna
were going.
so basically we're just
I
gonna
could.
talk about the topic now. Um,
I'm sorry. I could see where you were going with it, and it was a beautiful segue. I
hmm,
will have to actually listen to the episode
okay,
to
okay,
see how lovely your segue was.
yeah. So
Would
yeah,
that make you happy?
it would make me very happy. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
we
Topic.
today we're talking about something very interesting, something that we haven't really discussed with each other before, which I don't know how we haven't because it's such like a big thing of your life, like school in general.
Yeah,
That's like
like you
all
do
you
that.
focus on.
You do that for minimum 13 years,
Exactly.
maximum forever.
Yeah, literally. Go to school and then
Like,
you graduate school and you go to different schools and shit, then you graduate fully and then you go to college and then you graduate that and you can like have the opportunity to like become a teacher. Then you're in school for the rest of your life till you like
or
retire.
alternatively, you even just go back and do more school on a different topic.
Yeah, if you have the money for that,
Do you have the money for that?
which most people in America Don't.
Yeah. Anyway, but it's an
So
option, and it's an option people are really annoying about sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Um.
Yeah.
So that's today's topic.
Anyway.
We're talking about we were differently raised in the like in this specifically just in the subject of school. So I was raised homeschooled my entire life. I didn't like switch anywhere, nothing else. And then Romeo was public schooled his whole life, I believe.
Except for a singular year where I went to a Catholic school. That made me weird.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Wow. It's oh god, Catholic schools. Yep.
It wasn't like a traumatizing experience, but it was definitely weird being the one kid in the room who didn't believe in God. And I also didn't get to partake in the Jesus cracker.
What? They didn't let you do communion?
No, I wasn't baptized, so you're like, you're not allowed to. They were like, you can't have any.
Wait a
You're not
minute.
allowed.
I'm not baptized. They let me do communion. Well,
I don't.
okay,
I
I
can
am
literally
baptized.
pull up and
I am baptized. But
wait.
back when I wasn't, they still let me do communion.
Huh.
That's, oh,
Um.
that might be a Catholic thing though, because I'm a Baptist.
Apparently, it's parish. It's a parish one. What does parish mean?
It means to die.
Parish primary school. So it was like St. Anthony's Parish Primary School. I went there for one whole year, and my older brothers went there for basically their whole life. Um,
It's not like close to where
oh,
you
no
live, right?
wonder
You
then.
didn't just dox yourself, did you?
No, I'm in a whole different section of town now.
Oh, a whole different section of town. That makes it so. Okay.
I live in a city. It's fine.
Don't go into detail.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Jesus,
sorry.
I really am gonna have to make you sign an NDA
Probably.
for yourself.
Anyway, myself, yeah. I'm really bad at this. I just want to give everyone my personal information all the time.
Yeah. Literally, like most of I want y'all to understand most of Romeo's first interactions with people, like if we introduce him to like a new friend or anything, or like someone I met off VR chat, he's always just like, "Hey, do you want my credit card information?" And I just have to be like, "No."
I like I have money in there.
Okay, well, that's still not like that. You remember that one time you did get your credit card information stolen and you stressed about it for like 2 months?
Yeah,
We don't want that to happen again, do we?
not particularly.
Exactly. So, I don't know. Be a little more normal. I understand that's difficult for you, but
It is a struggle.
oh, it's okay. Um,
Okay, back on
we're
topic.
back on topic. Back on topic. I'm back. Yeah. Um. So I was
Back on
raised
top, my
homeschooled,
front bottoms.
and you
I'm sorry.
say back on topic, and then you drag us further off topic.
Yeah,
God forbid we record an episode.
God forbid we record an episode. I want to get
Okay,
that printed on a T-shirt.
that'll be our merch. We'll get whenever we get
Yeah.
or if we ever get popular, we'll like start selling merch, and the first one will be God forbid we record an episode.
Okay, on topic.
So yeah, I was raised to believe that public schoolers just are like dumber in general.
But
um,
look, I can't deny it.
so it's like a trade-off, right?
Mm,
It's like a trade-off because in so it depends, right? If you have
yeah.
like a good parent who's there to teach you everything, um, then homeschooling is great. But if you don't, then it's like kind of insane. Um, so for me, like I was
Yeah.
fortunate enough to have like my mom, because I would say she was pretty good with teaching most of the time. Um,
Mhm.
a lot of the being held back was on my own part, just because most of my life we didn't realize I had a lot of the problems I did, and I just very very recently got medicated for those. Like after
Ooh.
school
Yeah.
wasn't an issue anymore, so it's kind of like a you know that whole thing. What's I going with this? It was kind of okay. So it does depend though. Because if you have someone, if you don't, if you're homeschooled and your parent just like doesn't give a shit, then you're probably screwed. Um, because like you are legally obligated, in America at least, to like educate your child, but there are like way too many loopholes in that. Um, so a
Yeah.
lot of people just like don't get education. Um, and it really does suck. Or they just get like the wrong education. Because I'm seeing a lot of kids, in like the Gen Alpha getting raised into like just not knowing a lot of things. Um,
Yeah, no, there's a like if you pick up half the news articles that have actual credibility behind them, you can see that there's a genuine there's a dip, and that's partially because of like the global pandemic, and also just like there's a reading sort of deficit, there's a socialization deficit, and it's just like continuous upheaval does not make for a great student.
mhm.
And between the continuous upheaval and the fact that some parents, um, it's not to generalize, but it's quite a trend to be like, I don't feel like being a parent today, and just plopping the kid on the iPad PM.
Yeah.
So, like, between those, it doesn't make it easy for like think about when you were 9. Did you want to do school?
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just be like, okay, 9-year-old child who barely knows what regular school actually is. Learn. No. Well, fuck. I guess we're shit out of luck then.
It's not. I was watching like YouTube videos of like Sonic and My Little Pony.
Yeah, pretty much. I I think that's when I'd started to comprehend what a parody skit of a YouTube of like songs were. And so I was like I wasn't listening to any actual music. I was listening to parody versions of songs.
Yeah. I used to listen to so my whole life I've been really big on like uh three different things, right? YouTube creator made music, Minecraft music, like the Minecraft soundtrack, and then like Sonic music, right? So whenever I was like doing something or just anything, because we a lot of the a lot of the homeschooling we did, it was like a pre-made course where I would like log into the website and it would be like, here's your stuff for the day, and then mom would come in to make sure I was like doing everything. Um, because
You
I
can't
will admit
trust a small child.
I was a problem child. Uh, so I specifically remember, right? I can't tell you how many times I got in trouble for like when I was supposed to be doing school and I was in there on my iPad like creating Minecraft skins.
That's, that's such a mood, though.
Yeah, cuz okay, that's the only thing I'll ever take pride in is because I did it like almost my entire life, right? I
Mhm.
Minecraft skins I used to like not to brag, but I used to sell my work for in-game currencies on different Minecraft servers.
You used to hustle for Minecraft
I
skins?
used to hustle for Minecraft skins. And I did it when I was supposed to be doing school. Uh,
Oh my god.
so I had that. And then I also had like 5 different Minecraft girlfriends at one time.
And people are surprised you're polyamorous now. Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's not even. I just okay. We didn't even like. It was one of those things that like the fucking kids do. They don't understand shit about
Yeah.
love. They're just like everybody else.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I'm going to be a pimp.
I saw having a girlfriend on the TV. That must mean that they're cool. Because I used to watch like a lot of Disney shows, and God knows how awful
Yeah.
those are. Unlimited access to Disney shows and Cartoon Network, but I wasn't allowed to watch fucking SpongeBob. Let me just get that out there real quick. Uh,
Right, I forgot about the SpongeBob thing. That's still so insane to me.
so you want to know the full story behind? Did I tell you the full story behind that?
No, I'd love to know the full story behind the
So the
SpongeBob thing.
full story behind that was I used to do impressions of SpongeBob, like as a really small child, and I was getting pretty good at it. If I do say so myself. The problem
Mhm.
came in the fact that I was doing them at church, and
Ah,
like
ah.
I would say it to like my friends. I would say some stupid shit to my friends, like little friends that I had at church when I was there, and my mom would overhear it and be like, "What? What did you just say?"
What
Because
is
SpongeBob is like it has a lot of jokes on there that are like, kids aren't supposed to understand, but they're funny for kids in a way because they're kids. But to adults it
yeah,
just
it's like
sounds wrong. And I was saying like a lot of those apparently. And my mom was just like, "Okay, where are you learning this from?" And I'm like, "SpongeBob." And she said, "No more SpongeBob." And I'm like, "Okay."
okay.
But no, I could still watch all of
Uh,
Cartoon Network.
the real question is, are you allowed to watch SpongeBob now?
I'm 19, Romeo.
You're avoiding the question.
No.
Aw.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love SpongeBob. Um,
Mm,
whenever my whenever
SpongeBob.
my dad moved out and the rules suddenly got like 10 times less strict, um, I binge watched all of SpongeBob. This was when I was like 16, but I binge watched every single season of SpongeBob. Um,
Make
and
up for
then
all the time you
so
couldn't watch it?
yeah, because there were a lot of things that I couldn't do, man. And whenever my dad moved out, because he was like the man, a lot of the time it was just like, "Oh, you can't watch this because it goes against Jesus," or "Oh, you can't watch this because it has propaganda," or "Oh, you can't watch this because you repeated a joke and now I don't like it anymore," or yada yada yada. So I couldn't watch Harry Potter because it was rich witchcraft. I couldn't watch Adventure Time because it had
Pretty.
gay propaganda. I couldn't
That,
watch SpongeBob because I was repeating some of the shit I said on there, and I couldn't interact with Pokemon because
Pokemon?
apparently they're all demons.
For it, my favorite abomination of Christ.
The 10-hour Furret Walk video is my favorite satanic ritual.
I've actually seen that whole video like twice. Sometimes when I need background noise, I put it on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You just like put it on, and sometimes I mean, shit, dude. 9-year-old me would have put that on in the background of Homeschool. It was
Yeah,
great.
exactly. For it
Yeah,
walk slaps. I love it.
Furret Walk goes hard. Um,
For it walk goes hard.
I love Furret Walk. No, but so the thing was, right? I I was sitting in the car one day, or we were all in the car one day, and my dad, he turns to us and goes, "You guys want to hear a story I heard online today?" In my mind, I'm already like, "Uh-oh."
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Um, so he told us this really in-depth and moving story about how this family went to go see a priest, like a Catholic priest. Um, and one of the kids brought like a book of Pokemon, like a Pokedex or whatever they're called, and showed
Yeah.
it to the priest, and the priest was like naming all the Pokemon off as like different demons, like just like I recognize that one. This one is Gobsmack the Bile or whatever. I don't know.
Come smack. Come smack the file.
This one is Penis
Yep.
Cheese the Evil. I don't know. But
Yep.
it was a really dumb story. Um, but my dad was like taking that thing he read on the internet as as gospel. So that's why we weren't like allowed to interact with Pokemon because it was, it was demonic.
Your dad read a Facebook post and went full like about
Yeah, dude, it sucked, man. It sucked. Um,
that does suck.
yeah, it was pretty bad. So yeah, I but back to my original point. Whenever my dad moved out of my house, or moved out of the house, I went through. I watched all of SpongeBob. I watched every Harry Potter movie. Um, I watched fucking all of Adventure Time, Steven Universe, all the other shit I couldn't watch, and then I tried to play a Pokemon game, but I'm sorry, I don't like turn-based combat unless it's Persona. Yeah, that's like that's the only thing I can handle. And I mean, I guess Phoenix Wright, if you can count that, but that's not really even really like a fighting game. Um,
That's like turn-based combat in the courtroom.
that is, I mean, yeah, that's a very accurate way to describe it. I haven't even played half the
Yeah,
Phoenix Wright games. I just watched my brother play them. um,
I've been meaning to play a Phoenix Wright game. Um,
yeah, I I want to play them for myself because my brother has this thing where like every 2 years he replays all of the Phoenix Wright games in order.
yeah.
Because he has autism that he doesn't like to admit. You don't know that, but considering how many other people have it in the family, uh,
Yeah, it's like it'd be weird if you didn't.
yeah, um, but yeah, he just replays
Anyway,
every Phoenix Wright game. But yeah, so yeah, what I just did all of that, and it was very freeing. Um,
yeah, that would have been like a big thing for you. Be like,
yeah,
ah, fuck you. Watch all the media I wasn't allowed to.
I'm going to be petty. But yeah, so I made Minecraft skins when I was supposed to be doing school. And I think that's really funny because it was the reason that I was held back a lot. um,
Minecraft.
my hustling Minecraft skins. Um, but a lot of the schoolwork, I remember specifically this one thing. We had the teaching textbooks, and that was like a math program, and
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, the guy who like talked about the math problem, he had the most monotone fucking voice that you could ever think of. And it was unbearable to listen to. Um
Yeah.
it was crazy. Uh I had to.
That's just what
And that
math
was like
is like.
it okay, so that might have been me. But because I learned very 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 recently that I got diagnosed with a um like a math learning disorder. I don't know exactly what it's.
Calculus?
I don't know if that's that exactly. It's like I don't think it's that. I think it's more like I just can't
Your brain
like
just cannot compute it.
understand. I just can't understand numbers. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be that because I don't know the full details of that. But so yeah, I've always had like a really hard time with math, and that's always been my trouble subject. Um, even now, because I'm having to like start applying for trade schools, and there's like there. It's not like obviously it's not like college where you have to have perfect grades on everything just to be considered. But I do. There is like a test that you have to pass. Um, kind of like the GED test. Um,
Yeah, and you.
and it's just
Mm.
it's just. But I'll have to
You
do
need
that.
to vaguely know numbers.
I gotta work with numbers, man. Because I'm very confident about everything else. I had straight A's, like just in general,
Once you
almost all
once
across
you
the board.
stop dicking around with the Minecraft skins.
Once I stopped dicking around with the Minecraft skins and my Minecraft pimp service.
Yep. You just like straight A student.
Pay me 200 of the in-game currency. If you give me a stack of diamonds, then I'll get one of my girls to crouch and uncrouch in front of you for 5 minutes.
Holy shit.
It's stupid as fuck. Um, but yeah, so
That's mm.
no, that never actually happened. That was not a thing I did. Contrary to popular belief. You
Contrary to popular belief, you did not rent your girlfriends out.
I didn't actually have a pimp service. None of my fake Minecraft girlfriends even knew about each other. To be
Oh
fair,
my god.
I didn't.
Oh my god.
I was 9. What do you expect? I had to learn
So what?
somehow. Would you rather I'd have done it now? Since I didn't learn
No,
back then? Exactly. I
no.
had to learn
I'm glad
I
we've
had to
learned.
have 5 Minecraft girlfriends back then so I wouldn't cheat on you today.
Damn, I wish my dad would have had 5 Minecraft girlfriends.
Oh my god. I think your dad would have come out a much mentally healthy person if he just had Minecraft as a kid.
I tried to get my dad into Minecraft and he was like, nah.
I got
But
my
honestly,
no.
when my mother played it, she seemed to be more relaxed from day to day, so.
I got my dad stuck on Minecraft and he built a church.
Ugh. I got my mother into Minecraft and she built like cities. She was like, "Come look at this very like eccentric apartment building I've made."
Yeah. I mean, okay, so it was
It was
kind of cool though.
impressive.
Yeah, you told me about that. That's like, I think you showed me like, not like a screenshot, but you showed me like a picture of, um, something. I don't know. That might have been, but so my dad,
Yeah.
he built like churches, but he built like very, how do I say this, basic churches, um, which was fine, because, everybody learns. But he would finish one of them and he would come and show me like, look at this. Um, and like he would walk me through his builds on his iPhone. Uh, he had
Mhm.
like Minecraft Pocket Edition. Um, so I would like sit there and look at his builds. That's one of the only fond memories of my dad I have. Ooh.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry. That's really funny. That's kind of depressing, but that's also really funny.
We're not
Um,
we're not gonna open that can of worms with hundreds of legs. Um,
we've already got one open can still sitting in the cupboard. We
yeah,
don't need
we
another.
we never we never touched that one. For context, go back to the first episode. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Watch
so
out on this stuff.
we bonded over Minecraft, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, math was always kind of like a trouble thing for me. It was like, I don't know. It's always like, even in the back of my mind. I feel like I'm never gonna truly be rid of math. Um, like, no matter how hard I try, it's always gonna come back in some way, shape, or form and kick me in the ass when I least expect it.
Yeah, I reckon that's just the math experience.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I finished school. I don't have to do math anymore. And then you try to like budget for the week, and you're like, oh fuck,
God damn it, not this again.
not this shit again. Oh,
Here we go. Yeah. It's an experience.
yeah, math is just a thing. It kind of sucks. Um, During public school, so I was good at math until like I hit like year four, year five, and that's when I started getting really, really depressed all the time,
You entered the gay
frequently.
zone.
Um, I, I, I kind of entered the gay zone, but that's also when the childhood trauma caught up to me, and
Mm.
so I don't know, it just made my life really difficult. And so I stopped enjoying school at that point, and I just kind of got through it. I still like I did my Australian year 12, right? So I've done the American equivalent of graduate high school, basically. But here in specifically in the state I'm living in, um, or the state I did school in, I guess. Specifically in the state I did school in, year 12 is separate to the rest of high school. So it's like in a different thing with different rules. But I did my year 12. I have my year 12 certificate, and I'm really proud of myself for that because I'm one of the only people in my family to have done that.
Oh yeah.
So, like, it was a big thing for me. And yeah, I was in public school the whole time, and I went to like a public college and everything. Um, but um,
For context, for
when you
the
have parents,
sorry, just
oh
real
yeah,
quick. For
for
context,
context,
for the American people, whenever Romeo mentions college, it's not like college.
it's not American
It's not
college.
American. Um, college. The best way I can describe it in Australia is just basically being a senior in high school. Um, But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like being an American senior, but it has a whole different like rule to it. It's like if you were an American senior, but with college rules kind of thing.
Hmm.
It's like if you don't hand shit in, that's whatever. You don't even have to rock up your classes. You'll just fail.
So it's like college if it was like mandatory and didn't cost anything. But then they have their own like
Yeah,
oh god, I just smacked my plate.
and
Uh,
then
they have their own like college, which is called university over there. But
yeah, like my roommate's in university at the moment. Um, Shout out to my roommate who's doing a double degree.
go off.
Absolutely insane. I'm worried about him. Um, anyway, so I finished basically my mandatory schooling and then did another 2 years because Australian college isn't mandatory. Um, yeah, so I did an extra 2 years and then went and did my thing. And I'm very proud of myself for it. But public school gets weird. Um, on the reverse of homeschooling, it's like you don't get as much of that one-on-one time. And if your parents are busy or your parents work or your parents actually don't care that much, you can't really like have that, oh, what's happening here with it? It's like a more standardized thing and it becomes very easy to slip through the cracks. Like, um, I kind of just got through high school, like by the skin of my teeth, kind of thing. Because A, pandemic. B, it turns out being very, very depressed and unmedicated, it does not make for a good combo of getting your work done on time.
Yep.
It's not fantastic. Um, that being said, I really enjoyed college. It was like a whole big thing for me. Um, and the thing with public schooling is you get a lot of like socialization practice. And they account for that. Like, you really learn how to work with people and work with your peers and get to the point of, God, I hate all of these people, but I am just going to grin and bear it.
I didn't get that.
Um, yeah, exactly.
Another problem with
But
homeschooling is that's the trade-off I was mentioning before. It's you like your curriculum is normally like a little better and you're like a little everything's a little more like lenient on you, but you don't get like a lot of social interaction, so you
yeah,
have to like make stuff for yourself. But yeah, continue.
you get very good if look, being being openly queer in a public high school environment, it makes you very, very, very good at just dealing with it. TM. Um, but it also means that once you kind of settle into a position, it becomes fine. Like once I went to college, I got really popular with people. Not in any meaningful way. I don't talk to anyone I know from college, but I got popular in the way that people knew who I was, and that's also partially because I ran the school's GSA. I am in my final year.
What's
Um,
GSA?
but it's Gender and Sexuality Alliance. It's basically the
Oh,
school's gay club.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I ran that in year 12 with my other person. Yeah, no, I think we did pretty good at it actually, considering someone else was meant to run it and they asked us to like co-run it with them, and then they disappeared off the face of the earth.
Dropped out of gay club. God damn.
Yeah, and then they were just like not even in school.
Oh wow.
Like I had classes with them, and they just weren't there. R.I.P. that guy. That guy. He just dropped out of gay club.
Yeah. But rest in
Rest in peace, that guy. Um, I also, um, in my early years of high school, I got to have the beautiful experience of sitting at the kitchen table with your dad while he yells at you about math work and you're crying. That is a
Oh,
classic public school thing.
I have had that actually. That's
That's just yeah, that's a general
that
school
one's
thing.
yep, yep.
Yeah. Uh,
You haven't lived
gotta love it.
scolded for
Screamed
not
at your
being great at math.
yeah. Um, in general, my dad kind of like so through like the 4 years of high school and the 2 years of college, there was one phrase that kept coming up in my life from my dad and my grandparents, and it was just apply yourself a bit more. You'll do really well if you would just apply yourself. You're smart. You can do it. Just apply yourself.
I hate that. That's like okay, so
I
that's
hate it.
that's something I got as well, and it's literally just to make you feel bad. Like it makes you like
Yeah, it's like
when you're getting scolded, you already feel like you're the problem. But when that happens,
yeah,
it's like
it's
even more so like
I'm the issue in this situation. It's like, yeah, no, partially I could have applied myself a lot more in school, and I would have had a fantastic marks, but also partially I didn't have the mental power to do it. I was like very, very mentally unwell through a lot of school.
yeah.
Um, and also, again, like part of the thing of homeschooling is you have someone there who's making sure you're doing what you're doing. That is not a thing in public school. If you don't do it, like after a certain point in school, if you don't do your work, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
And the teacher goes, whatever. Like a lot of the thing of high school is I pushed myself through it um to a point out of spite.
Yeah.
My thing was like, I'm gonna be the first person to graduate year 12 in my family since like my grandmother, but she still dropped out of year 10, by the way. Yeah, my grandmother went and got her arts degree or whatever when she was in her 30s, but she also dropped out of year 10.
Yeah. I
I'm the
actually
first person to do the consistent, like, 13-year slog.
I remember this cuz we started dating around when you were like finishing up high school. Um
No, I think we started dating when I was, yeah, when I was finishing up high school. Like, I had just gone into year 11.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. But I remember
Yeah.
like anytime I would say like, "Oh, you need to go a little easier on yourself." And I'm like, "No." No, you're like, "No, I got to finish this." Out of like just incredibly spiteful about the whole thing. And it was like it was funny because, you know, I'm glad you're motivated. Um I'm glad that you want to prove somebody wrong enough to the point where it's helping you through this. But at the same time, it did take a big toll on your mental health. And I think
It really did. Like,
that's kind of just like the thing with public school. Um, from my understanding, is just the pressure of it all.
yeah, it takes a toll on you because, like, a lot of the time, even if your parents aren't super involved, they still, like, push you to be the best. And sometimes that's really healthy. It's like someone being like, you can do it, do your best. But other times it's like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Like, I remember one time, my grandmother got my results back for year 9 science. And she was like, these results are horrible. And I was, you have a new teacher and everything this year. What's your excuse? And I was like, it's literally not my fault. You can check everyone's, like, thing across the board. She's just a bad teacher. Like, you can check everyone's results. They're bad, and they were.
Yeah.
It's like, when it comes to public school, sometimes you are literally at the mercy of your environment and your peers.
Yeah. That's the that is part of the trade-off that I mentioned earlier with homeschool, because it's like that leniency that leniency is really just what gets you through. Um because I don't remember a single point in my life where I felt like it was life or death whether I finished school or not. Um because I've always struggled with, like, oh, what if I'm never going to have a future? But school was never a part of that, because it was always like I had
Yeah.
that leniency, and I never had like an insane amount of like pressure or anything. But in public school, it's like you just kind of like constantly have that pressure, and it's fucked.
Yeah. Like, it's such a weird trade off because it's like, yeah, it's really helpful to go to public school because you learn to just kind of, you really learn how to fit into an environment. And it's also the routine of it. Like,
Yeah.
there are so many people I know who finished school and they were like, what do I do with myself now?
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, that was going back to school, like uni. For other people, that was getting jobs. For some people, that was sitting in a rut in your room that's been messy and like with the curtains closed and staring at your laptop for 3 months straight.
Yep.
But like, I don't know. I was already pretty consistently working by the time I finished school. Um, so it wasn't as big of a transition for me, and I did this thing. So in Australian college, how it works is you have tertiary courses and accredited courses. Tertiary is like if you're planning on going to university. Um, and at the end, you get this ATAR score. And that basically is like your, this is how smart I am kind of score.
Yeah.
Um, the higher your ATAR, the better it is. Like our mutual boyfriend got like a 99.8.
Jeez.
And the highest I've ever seen was a girl in my class with a 99.9.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like, our boyfriend got like high 90s. He's insane.
That is actually
I I don't even know if it was a 99.8, but it was like 90 something. It was like it was high, and the average kind of ATAR is like 60s, 70s. That's considered like a good ATAR.
fucking get him into Harvard over here.
Yeah, no, he's a genius. There's a reason he's doing engineering.
Yeah, that's holy shit. Sometimes I forget
I'm
just how
so proud
smart
of
he
him.
is compared to me.
Yeah, no, like it's a thing. It's like we'll be dicking around, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, my coding class," and then I'm like, "Oh right, you're like building robots."
I need to, man, I'm gonna get him to retutor me on math whenever I go take that fucking entrance test.
You really should. If you get him and my roommate to tutor you on math, they both do tutoring on the side. They're good at it. Like,
Hey, can you guys help me?
I reckon they would genuinely be really enthusiastic too.
Uh,
Um,
it'd be like it'd just be like my parents. Your roommate would be there like bullying me every time I got a question wrong, and boyfriend would just sit there like it's okay.
oh my god. Actually, funny story. So, me, my roommate, and our boyfriend went to a show the other night. It was this queer show. It was really cool.
Hmm.
But afterwards, we all went back to my place,
That's the
and
one where
me,
you look like
and
a curtain, right?
yeah, um, I have this all pink jumpsuit thing. It's like a two piece, but it looks like a jumpsuit. It's my favorite. It's great.
Yeah.
Um.
It looked like something.
Anyway, so
I don't
it
actually
looked like
remember.
it walked out of the set of the Barbie movie.
It looked like a costume out of like a Panic at the Disco music video.
What year Panic at the Disco music video?
I don't know. I've only seen like 2.
Okay.
I don't listen to Panic at the Disco.
I'm assuming you mean like 2010s though.
Probably.
God, I hope so. Oh God.
I I,
Anyway, um,
I wasn't
Panic at the
as
Disco is a whole different can of
I
worms.
was not. The worms have legs.
So many legs.
It's the third can. It's the third can we have of worms that we opened. We gotta.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to make like a worm salad or something.
No, we're gonna make a. What the fuck? No, we're gonna make a video. Like sometime in the future, just closing all the cans of worms, and it's just gonna be like talking about things that we haven't been able to talk about. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I think that would be really funny.
that's really funny. Yeah,
But then,
we'll do
but
that
then
at
the
some
topic
point.
chat.
Topic chat.
Yeah.
We'll have to be like very distant
Topic chat.
future. Yeah.
Very distant future. We have a lot more cans of worms to open.
Yeah.
We went to Costco for these bad boys.
Yep. Yep.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Actually,
Anyway, so ooh, you go.
no, I was gonna keep talking about worms. You should probably go.
Okay. Anyway, he comes back to our place after, and we're sitting on the lounge watching. We're specifically watching what it's like listening to every Everhood OST, right? And he looks up at me, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I didn't want to say. I wanted to say this before the video ended. I'm going home. I will not stay here the night." And I was like, "What?" Because it's like nearly midnight, and he was like, "I meant to say it earlier. I forgot. Um, I like my bed better. I'm going home." And I was like, "I just feel like you've served me divorce papers." And he was like, "No, that's the opposite of what I wanted to do. I'm sorry."
Poor. Fuck.
I. We're gonna have to redact that.
Damn it. Okay, let me put down this
Damn it.
timestamp.
Anyway, poor baby boy.
Poor Davy Boy. That's his name, though.
Poor baby boy.
Yeah.
Uh, it's really funny. I'm gonna make fun of him about it forever. Um, what were we talking about? Right. School is really weird.
School is
And
weird.
when and sometimes the driving force is I'm so fucking mad at my parents that I'm gonna finish school and rub it in their faces.
Yeah. Speaking of driving force, that's another weird thing. That's another weird thing,
Driving?
right? Driving, yeah. Like
Yeah.
going to school.
Driving is weird. Oh yeah.
My going to school
That's a
was
thing.
walking 2 feet out of my room to the kitchen, like sitting down at the table with my laptop in my pajamas every day.
That's what I was like during quarantine, but I'd go sit on the lounge. Like, so there was part of quarantine where I was at my dad's place. And he works in construction, so he leaves at like fuck o'clock in the morning. But I wasn't doing school because I was the only one in the house. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do something else. That's when I started playing Genshin Impact.
I was about to say the same thing. That's when the Genshin Impact phase started. I got you on that game, and it was a mistake because you started doing it during school hours.
Yeah, no, I'd literally be sitting there in like my year 10 classes and listening to the teacher talk, but I'm actually just sitting there fucking playing Genshin.
Yeah. Honestly, that's
Don't
like
play Genshin Impact during school.
don't play Genshin Impact during school. Um, th- th-
Don't
what I
play
was
Genshin Impact.
Don't play Genshin Impact. Don't start. Once you start, you can't stop. Trust me, I spent $150
It'll
on
ruin
Hu Um,
your life.
it that's not even a can of worms. I don't want to come back to
Against
that
you.
one. We're gonna throw that one out. Um,
This one's moldy. It's going.
this one expired. Can't put this one in the
Okay.
salad.
One can't go in the salad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I remember what was I gonna say?
um, when I was just playing Genshin Impact instead of doing school.
Yeah, I remember like a couple times we called each other and you were like hanging out and you were like, "Oh, I'll be right back. I have to talk to my teacher." And I'm like, "What?" And you were like, "Yeah, I'm in class right now." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Go focus
Yeah,
on that. And you're like, no.
yeah, that's exactly it. I would be like, no.
Nah, I'm good.
Um, then
Um,
for the second half of quarantine and for the mini quarantine in 2021, um, teehee, I was at my grandparents' place and they were much stricter with me. I would get out of bed, they would be like, have breakfast, and then get on that fucking laptop.
yeah, I remember a couple times when you were like on call with me and your parents get your not your parents, your grandparents came in like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I would like try to keep quiet because you didn't have headphones in. And you're like, "Are you doing school?" And you're like, "No."
Yes. No.
Yeah, but that's the closest thing I could quarantine for y'all was the closest experience you're gonna get to like my way of public schooling or my way of homeschooling. Just imagine like all of those classes that you took like online, they were pre-recorded, and you can like pause them, rewind, go back if you missed something, and like yada yada. Um,
Yeah, the ability to pause it sounds really good. The rest of it sounds like it kind of suck.
I mean, so it depends
Like
on how you look at it, right? Because
in the way of I've been public school my whole life, and I couldn't imagine like five
being
days a
home all the
week I
time.
go down to the yeah, it would drive me insane.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think in that regard, we're just like different people. Um, because that's like ideal to me. I love, I love not having to do shit. I love not having to go outside. Um,
Like I love not having to do shit, but I like being able to go do stuff.
yeah, we're just
Mm.
that's like a introvert extrovert thing. Um,
Yeah, it's like I'm an extrovert that doesn't like people that much.
I'm an introvert that
I
doesn't
need
like
them
people
to
that
survive.
much.
To survive, but dear God,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think man, we're at an hour and 5 minutes. You want to go ahead and wrap this up?
I was actually gonna bring up one more point.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Um, so in public schools, you have this funny thing that happens sometimes when two people see each other and don't like each other. There are
Ooh.
several ways that conflict can go. Um, high school drama is just as insane as you think it is. I was
Uh,
involved in so much high school drama, and half of it was my fault. Before I learned how to do this thing called conflict resolution, I was a little cunt to just about everyone I didn't like. Um, that ranged from just straight up saying terrible things to people and also trying to physically fight them.
yeah,
However, I never got a detention in my life
yeah. Me neither.
because my thing was a whole like okay. At one point, we re-renovated our classrooms in high school, and a lot of the classroom was made out of glass. See, this would be a huge issue if we were American.
All that shit. The glass room.
The glass. Yeah, basically. But I remember one time I was sitting there in class and I wasn't paying attention, and I looked out into the hall because there was the glass door. And I looked out into the hall and immediately watched two kids start fist fighting each other.
What the fuck?
Like, that was just a regular thing. In my roommate's high school, like, several people got stabbed. That was like a regular occurrence.
Oh my god. Ever attack anybody with katanas?
I don't think so. However, one time during primary school, um, you know what? I'm cracking this can of worms and drinking the worm right out of the can. Um, so one time during primary school, when I was extremely mentally unwell enough to be sent to the school counselor, um, I was having frequent sessions with the school counselor, and we had a little school disco, and it was like a Halloween themed school disco. Or like it was costume. It was like a costume party. It was cool. But because I was like 11 and really edgy, I was into creepypasta.
Of course you were.
Of course I was.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, so I dressed up as specifically Eyeless Jack with the
Ah.
stupid little cardboard mask and everything, and I brought this tiny little plastic knife with some fake blood on it, and
Oh.
I was going around poking kids, like people I knew, and we were all laughing about that. And a teacher came and took it off me and yelled at me and was like, "You shouldn't be doing that. What the hell?" It was a plastic knife.
Stab her.
Anyway, oh, I didn't like her and she didn't like me. It was like a whole thing. She didn't like me because sometimes I'd take my shoes off in class.
That's yeah, that would be something. Man,
I was just really wiggly. Man, it's really difficult to sit there at a desk all the time. I was
I
so wiggly.
I think that's called ADHD.
Yeah, I'm standing up and pacing as we speak. I can't sit down for ages.
The puzzle
Anyway,
doesn't the puzzle didn't work, I take it.
at one point I switched to the puzzle and now I've just been playing with this rubber band and pacing. Anyway, I should get my fidget spinner. I got a fidget spinner because they
Oh.
were free at the queer event. So
Oh
I've
yeah.
got my fidget spinner. That's helping actually. Um, so yeah, I got this little plastic knife taken off me, and then on the Monday, which was like this was on a Friday, and so on Monday, my mom got a call from like child protective services or like mental health services to say I had brought a machete to school and
What
I was
the fuck?
threatening other kids.
What the hell?
You also got to keep in mind my counselor thought I was schizophrenic and dangerous because
Oh.
sometimes you know when you hear your own voice in your head and sometimes you can like kind of imagine other people's voices in your head,
Hmm.
like oh I perfectly heard his voice kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I was describing that to her,
Hmm.
and she was like, "Voices, schizophrenic."
That's actually
And
really funny you mentioned that. Sorry to butt in, but that's really funny. But that's really funny you mentioned that,
she,
considering out of the polycule, you're probably gonna be like the only one without schizophrenia.
yeah, because right, you and Baby Boy both have family history.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh.
Um, yeah, so my mother and grandmother had lots and lots of very long meetings with the school to be like, "What the fuck is your problem?" to the counselor. And to be like, what the fuck is your problem to all the teachers? Um, I also bit a kid during Catholic school. This was a big issue.
Huh.
I got sent back to teething rings for like a year.
Wait. Okay. How old were you here?
When I bit someone, or when I got accused of being schizophrenic and dangerous.
When you bit someone?
I was like in year 4, so if I was like, um, I gotta think about this actually. I was in year 4. So that would have been 2014. This would have been 10 years ago. Yeah, I was like 9.
9. I mean that checks out. Was it like a is it like a loving bite or like an affectionate bite or was it like a I hate you?
It was we were sitting cross-legged on the floor in the classroom and learning about something up the front. So sometimes they like to group you and put you at the front and make you look at things.
Mhm.
It's very much like being at the zoo, except you are the animal. Anyway, I just kind of leaned forward and bit her on the shoulder.
So it wasn't like
Like
it
I
wasn't
didn't even think about it.
yeah, I mean that's like that to be fair, that's like something you would do now.
That's something I would absolutely do now, and I do frequently bite other people in a fun, affectionate way.
So that wasn't
It
like
got
a
to the point where
it was just like a that was
it
just like
got,
an autism bite.
that was an autism bite.
Yeah.
Um, I actually have a piece of jewelry that I got before we went to My Chemical Romance, so I wouldn't bite other people during My Chemical Romance. However, this is a really funny story that I do want to bring up now that we're talking about My Chem. So me, my roommate, our mutual friend, and baby boy all went to see My Chem, and I was sitting next to baby boy, and I got so excited that I like went to grab his hand and instead managed to grab the like strip of his jeans because he's got like 2 patches with no jean and then a patch with jean, and I grabbed the strip of the jean and tore it straight off.
Ooh.
And proceeded to do the same to my own pair of jeans.
Oh no.
So like the casualty count is something.
Note to self, cut off any loose strands of clothing. Romeo.
I will get excited and I will just start grabbing things. I'm a menace. There's a reason I keep fidget toys in my like jacket that I wear everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so public school is weird. Public school and being mentally well would be cool, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so it leads to a lot of weird conversations with people.
Like and that's why we started a podcast.
I have a lot of weird public school stories to tell, and I'm sure people will hear them someday.
We can do an episode about weird stories. Like childhood stories.
We should. That would be really funny.
Oh yeah. See, I was gonna put that in the topics, but my problem is I don't have any off the top of my head. I tried thinking for like a good hour. So we'll just invite somebody else on and y'all two can talk about your childhood stories.
You can just do the thing where you go nonverbal and like watch the conversation.
This will be like at the very start of the episode. Cece's out on vacation, and I'm like still here, but I'm just not talking.
Occasionally you interject with
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Yeah.
or like a
Oh.
funny joke.
Yeah. I'll say something.
Oh.
Everyone will laugh. Huh?
Yeah.
Whoa. Hmm.
You'll be like the NPC in the party.
Oh wow. Must have been the wind.
Must have been the wind.
The wind.
Yeah. We'll put that in the list.
Put that in the list. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Um, I don't think so. Now is a good time for anyone who hasn't had food to go get food.
Go get food. Go drink your water. Go hydrate. Don't forget to do your Genshin Impact daily commissions. Your daily quest
So take
on
meds.
Wuthering Waves, um, whatever Honkai Star Rail has. Those are like the big three of gacha games right now. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Go listen to Head in the Ceiling Fan by Title Fight today if you haven't already.
If you haven't already. If you have, listen to it again.
If you just treat yourself. Listen to it again.
Yeah.
But I think that's about all the time we have today.
We'll be back next week.
Hopefully.
We're also doing this a day early because my power is gonna be off tomorrow.
It'll probably still come out on Monday. Or I might put it out tomorrow. That depends on if I feel like recording the gameplay today or tonight or tomorrow. Because I still don't know what game I'm gonna play. I might do like Metal Gear Rising.
Ooh, you haven't played that in ages.
I really haven't. So it'll be like enjoyable, you know? So cuz it'll match like the kind of style of like really just kind of brain turn off games that I've been playing on the podcast, because we had Sonic Adventure 1 for the first time, and then like all of Ultra Kill on the second episode.
I did actually see some of our second episode. I was cleaning and I zoned out and listened to our second episode.
Yeah, dude. Okay, that's how you know our formula's working, because I also like zoned out watching like the gameplay and like listening to the conversation. So I just need games that are like really, really head empty like that.
Perfect. I'm sure we can think of some.
Yeah. So I might do.
We were meant to end the episode.
We were meant to end the. You know what? It's fine. We're ending on an hour and 20 minutes. That's better than the last episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Goodbye.
Yeah. If you haven't eaten today, eat. If you haven't, check into your gacha games. Check into those. If you haven't listened to Head in the Ceiling Fan by Title Fight, listen to Head in the Ceiling Fan by Title Fight. That's enough from East. That's enough from us. Once again, we are. Don't forget to open up a can of worms today with legs.
Worm legs.
Worm legs. That's
best way to have the worms.
That's the best way to have the worms. We have been Cici and Romeo from the Adderall Not Included podcast, and we'll see you later.